Okay, so I wanted to bring some awareness to another thing that is contributing to homelessness in Victoria, BC. So when I was homeless, I would go to the shelter, like the Salvation Army. First of all, again, let me note that I'm not a drug user and never have been, okay? But every single shelter, except for the Salvation Army, is just rattled with people that are using drugs, use drugs, people are overdosing all over the place, you know what I mean? And I'm a sober guy trying to get out of homelessness. You think that I need to expose myself to elements like that? No, there's absolutely no way you're going to prevail or progress out of that situation if that's your type of environment that you have to try to manage in. It's not going to happen. It's not going to work. It'll make you sick. If anything, if somebody's broken emotionally in different ways or has a history of drug use, it's going to suck you right back into becoming a user. So you can never escape homelessness like that if you're surrounded by addiction and sickness and, mental illness. So anyways, the Salvation Army was supposed to be the only one that was a sober living environment. But it was always full, first of all. Every single time I went there, we're full. Plus they make you go there every single day at 1 p.m. to put your name on a list for 7 days. This is the process. You have to do this. You have to do this for 7 days no matter what. And you're not getting in for 7 days no matter what. This is the process. You have to go there every single day at 1 p.m., put your name on a list. If you do that for 7 days in a row without missing any days, now you're eligible for a bed. Like, for real? Are you serious? So I got to sleep outside anyways. All the shelters were always full, especially in the winter. I couldn't get in. The MAP programs were full. It was crazy. I literally had to sleep outside. It was a nightmare, okay? And I couldn't get a blanket from any of the shelters. I asked them, do you guys have a tent, a sleeping bag, a blanket, anything? No, sorry, we can't do that. Even though they're generating hundreds of $millions per year around homelessness, they can't give me a blanket in the winter time when the shelters are full. So one thing that didn't make sense to me was when I would go to the Salvation Army, they would put me through that process. By the time I got to the end of the 7 days, they're like, we're still full, but when a slot opens up, you're first on the list. Which I never heard from them. I would end up just going there and being like, can you please let me come in and shower? Can you please let me come in and eat? I'm starving. I haven't showered. I haven't slept in like a week. I need help. And they would be like, sorry, we can't allow that to happen. You have to have a bed. You have to be living here and have a bed here in order to use our services, to eat, to shower. Can't get a blanket. Okay, even though the Salvation Army generates $30,000 per month off of the homeless people, and I'll explain. So finally, when I got in, I figured out why they don't let you in to shower or eat unless you have a bed there. Because you have to pay for that bed. In a dorm with 30 other men, there's 4 dorms, 3 or 4, and there's 30 beds per dorm with 2 bunks. Okay? You're in a bunk bed. Okay? 30 men in one big room living together in bunk beds, and you have to pay $600 a month for that. Okay? You wonder why people can't escape homelessness? Now it makes sense why they wouldn't let me in to shower or eat, because it doesn't benefit them. It doesn't benefit their pyramid scheme. So now it makes sense why they wouldn't let me in, because they're not benefiting at all. And that's what they're out to do. That is a piece of proof that this city, Victoria, BC, is contributing to homelessness and deteriorating the quality of life and people's health and mental well-being. All because if they can't profit from it, sorry, we're not helping you. So when it comes to the people with addictions at the other shelters, the beds there, well, first of all, Rock Bay, you get to sleep on the floor, on a concrete floor with a little thin mat about this thin. You'll do that for like 6 months before you can get into a room. When you get into a room, you go upstairs and you'll be in a room and people are smoking meth up there and doing needles and stuff like that in the same room you're trying to live in. People will steal your shit. So it's really not an option. But you'll have to pay for that too. And unless you're willing to pay, you can't. Bro, if you're homeless and you can't sleep and you can't shower, how are you going to pay for anything? How are you going to get up and go to work every day if you have nowhere to sleep? You can't. So you end up on welfare, disability, and then you go to these shelters and you pay them their $600 a month to live in a dorm with 30 other men in bunk beds. Okay? You're not getting no sleep. The food that they serve, it seems good. Like, you're like, this is great. Until you start eating it and getting sick. And then you're wondering, why is this happening to me? Why am I getting sick all the time? Well, it's because it's expired food that gets thrown out from all of these stores and businesses that they can't sell anymore because it reaches its expiry date. And the Food and Safety Health Act, or whatever you call it, says you can't sell this food anymore after a certain period of shelf time type thing. So most of that gets donated, or, well, they're going to throw it out, but yeah, so all these shelters will go and collect it, and then they'll serve it up to the homeless people. So you're paying $600 a month, you're eating expired food, months go by like this, you have no energy, you're sick all the time, you have no energy to work, you're basically dying. You are dying. You're deteriorating mentally, physically, and spiritually. You're dying. Okay, and this is why people cannot escape homelessness, all right? It's all by design. It's not an accident. They do this on purpose, and they do it at every single organization. You got to pay to be homeless, okay? And you can't work if you can't sleep and you can't shower, okay? So they've all done this strategically. It's systematic. It's systematic corruption. That's what it is. On top of it, you got the staff doing abusive things to you, being abusive in nature towards you for absolutely no reason, before you've ever even had an engagement with these people. And it just does something to you mentally to be treated like that and degraded when you're at your lowest point in life and you're already so weak and tired that you're just ready to lay down and die, okay? You're exhausted. And then you're getting belittled and degraded and treated like shit by the same people that are working at this place. It makes you lose your mind. And then you become aggressive or hostile. You start pulling their cards and calling them out. Why are you doing this? Stop fucking doing this to me. Whatever. And then you look like the bad guy. And then they kick you out and ban you for life. And now you're sleeping outside on a bench in the wintertime. And they won't even give you a blanket. So anyways, I added up all the beds. They're making, $600 off each bed. $600 a month. Added up to roughly around $30,000 a month, over $342,000 a year. That one Salvation Army, that one place. Okay, like I said, I've been exposing their finances, like our place and Kool-Aid Society. Kool-Aid Society made $36 million in revenue. Okay, that was their revenue for 2021. Our place, $15 million. Now, they don't claim everything. Okay, I already made a video about that. I'll leave it at the end of this video if you didn't see that. Or you can just go on my channel, Corey Resilient, and look through my videos. You'll find it. Or you can go to the website that I'll link in the description called Victoria BC Profits. Because I'm going full force exposing this stuff now because this is mass genocide. And this is what's causing homelessness in Victoria, BC. And they're doing it on purpose. It's an intentional business model. It's to keep homelessness the way it is so they can continuously profit that over $100 million per year. Because if they solve homelessness, there is no longer a need for the fundraising and for the grants and all the money and that over $100 million a year. Everyone just lost their jobs and nobody's employed anymore. So they keep homelessness where it is, give the bare minimum. People are suffering, dying, and starving and hardly making it, can't even shower. They keep you out unless you pay them. And they're doing it all on purpose to keep homelessness the way it is so they can continue the cycle, so they can continue to profit from it. Share this video, Corey Resilient.